And I remember I was on a Saturday. On a Monday, I was sitting in class. I was sitting in business 2251. And I was sitting there and I turned to my friend Simon. I remember this moment so vividly. I turned to my friend Simon. I'm like, Simon, how much do you think this prof makes? And he's like, I don't know, like 80 grand. I'm like, no way. I'm like, professors make like 300 grand. Easy. Like, they're professors. Come on.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, like, I don't know, I think they make like 60, 80 grand. I looked this up. Her name, Shannon. Literally, I still remember it. I looked it up like there in class, and she made like somewhere around 80 grand. I'm like, why am I here?
Yeah.
I'm like, I could go and do what I did on Saturday every day for 20 days. For 40 days, and then just take the rest of the year off, and I make more than this professor. I'm like, why am I here learning a skill where I can later on go trade that skill for more? It just didn't really make sense to me. So, anyways, long story short, dropped out of school. When I was 19 years old, flew across the country. I started a door-to-door sales job selling telecom, home phone, TV, internet. Started working for a multi-billion-dollar corporation, multi-billion-dollar construction corporation. And we sold TELUS, which is one of the large big four telcos here in Canada. And basically through that, I climbed the corporate ladder. I kept climbing. I got promoted. Every 6 months, basically, I got a promotion. Then I became the director of training and development at Redcore. And then after that, the company, we didn't really vibe. And so I left. And after I left, then I did a little bit of consulting. And then during the pandemic, I actually sold masks, believe it or not. I like literally called up Chinese factories, guys speak Mandarin. I was like, hey, look, I know a ton of American hospitals and American like government officials. I can like get you some good contracts. I didn't, but I just thought I'd cold call them later. Yeah. So I was like, hey, look, like I'm looking to lock up some supply agreements. So I did. And then I cold called American hospitals. I literally cold called their main company line. I'm like, hey, I'm looking for a procurement department. And I get in touch with the procurement director. And then through that, I was brokering deals through the pandemic. After the pandemic was when I started my current company, which is VT Member, and essentially we're a virtual assistant company. We do everything from data entry, cold calling, appointment setting, graphic design, video editing, web development, anything virtual you can think of we do, except we do for $8 an hour. And that's essentially what we do. And we have a very unique system because we designed the entire our business with not only the consumer, the business owner in mind, but our employees in mind as well. So every team member has a career progression plan, and every assistant that my client hires actually has a manager attached to the hip to keep the team member accountable. And so essentially when you hire one team member, you get two. You get a trainer and you get a virtual assistant, right? And that supports the business. And the virtual assistant has the ability to get promoted into a virtual trainer, which means they can grow their income, which means there's a career progression plan, which is also the reason why our attrition rate in the industry is probably the lowest and our quality of work is quite high.